Science and Technology Genome-Edited Rice Varieties. News: The Indian Council of Agricultural Research (ICAR) has successfully developed the country's first genome-edited rice varieties, named DRR Dan 100, Kamala, and Pusid DST Rice 1. Key highlights: Technology used: These varieties were created using CRISPR-Cas-based genome editing, a technique that allows for precise modifications in the plant's genetic material without introducing foreign DNA. Approved methodology: The genome editing involved site-directed nuclease types 1 and 2, SDN1 and SDN2, which are approved under India's biosafety regulations for general agricultural crops. Supported by National Agricultural Science Fund, NESF. Regulatory status: Since no foreign genes were introduced, these varieties are not classified as genetically modified (GM) crops and are exempt from biosafety regulations outlined under Rules 7 to 11 of the Environment Protection Act, 1986, Rules, 1989. About the genome: Edited varieties DRR Dan 100, Kamala. Developed by ICAR Indian Institute of Rice Research, IRR. Hyderabad, an improved version of Samba Masuri, achieved by editing the CKX2, cytokinin oxidase 2, gene, which plays a key role in regulating plant growth and grain production. Pusid DST Rice 1. Developed by ICAR Indian Agricultural Research Institute, IRI, New Delhi. This variety is an improved version of the fine-grain rice MDU 1010, Cotondora Santaloo. India's first gene-edited sheep. News: Researchers from Kashmir University, in collaboration with ICAR, have produced India's first gene-edited sheep using CRISPR-Cas9 technology. This achievement follows the recent release of India's first gene-edited rice variety. About the research: Scientists edited the myostatin gene in a lamb, resulting in 30% more muscle growth, a trait seen in European breeds like Texel, but not in Indian ones. No foreign DNA was inserted, distinguishing it from transgenic modifications. This makes the method more efficient, safer, and possibly more acceptable to regulators and consumers. About gene editing: It is a biotechnology that enables precise changes to an organism's DNA or RNA by adding, deleting, or modifying specific gene sequences using specialized tools. Key methods: CRISPR-Cas9. It is a gene editing tool that works like a cut-and-paste mechanism for DNA strands. The 2020 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded to Emmanuel Charpentier and Jennifer A. Doudna for developing this genome editing method. Zinc finger nucleases. ZFNs combine engineered zinc finger proteins that bind specific DNA sequences with a Foci enzyme that cuts DNA at the target site. DNA identification. News: DNA analysis is being used to identify victims of the Air India Boeing 787 Dreamliner crash in Ahmedabad. About DNA identification: It identifies a person by matching their unique DNA with biological samples, blood, hair, tissue. Every person has a unique DNA that is present in nearly every cell of their body, with the exception of identical twins. It is the gold standard for identifying human remains, especially in mass casualty events. Sample collection and storage. DNA survives better in cold, dry conditions. Samples should be collected quickly and stored frozen at -20 degrees Celsius or in 95% ethanol for soft tissues. Soft tissue DNA degrades faster than bones/teeth. Reference DNA is collected from close relatives. Parents/children share 50% DNA. Bharat Forecast System, BFS. News: The India Meteorological Department, IMD, is set to adopt the Bharat Forecast System, BFS, which offers the highest resolution among all global weather models. About Bharat Forecast System: It is India's first indigenously developed weather model. Developed by Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology, ITM, Pune. Type: Deterministic model. It provides a single forecast output, unlike ensemble models that generate multiple outputs. Key features: Spatial resolution, 6 kilometers times 6 kilometers, the highest globally for a national level model. Current model resolution, 12 kilometers times 12 kilometers, covers 144 square kilometers per forecast unit. Geographical coverage, forecasts with 6 kilometers resolution for the tropical belt, 30 degrees south to 30 degrees north latitude. India lies between 8.4 degrees north and 37.6 degrees north latitude, so it falls well within this range. Forecast accuracy, capable of predicting small-scale weather phenomena such as localized thunderstorms, cyclones, and extreme rainfall with much greater accuracy. World's first pandemic agreement. News: Member states of the World Health Organization, WHO, have unanimously adopted the world's first pandemic agreement at the 78th World Health Assembly. About world's first pandemic agreement. Legally binding global treaty Article 19 of the IT is established under WHO Constitution, marking only the second such agreement after the 2003 Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. Purpose: The agreement aims to guarantee fair and equal access to vaccines, diagnostics, and treatments, while also establishing a unified international response system for future pandemics. Legal status: The treaty becomes enforceable once it is ratified by 60 countries. National sovereignty. Countries maintain full control over their internal health policies, and the WHO does not have the authority to impose any laws or restrictions. Participation. A total of 124 countries have adopted the agreement, while 11 abstained. The United States exited the negotiations due to policy changes under President Trump. Key provisions of the WHO Pandemic Treaty. Pathogen access and benefit sharing, PABS. It enables quick sharing of pathogen data, with participating manufacturers required to provide 20% of real-time production to WHO, 10% as donations, and 10% at affordable prices. Technology transfer and capacity enhancement. The treaty promotes the sharing of expertise and technology to support vaccine and treatment manufacturing in developing countries. Equity-focused distribution system. It ensures vaccine distribution is based on public health needs rather than political interests. It discourages vaccine stockpiling and supports openness in supply chain operations. Global supply and financial infrastructure proposes a unified financial mechanism and establishes a global supply chain and logistics network, GSCL, to streamline emergency response. Alignment with national health policies. Member countries are required to create policies that guarantee access to pandemic innovations developed with public funding. One Health Principle highlights the interdependence of human, animal, and environmental health. Advocates for early detection and prevention of zoonotic outbreaks. First State of the World's Animal Health Report. News. According to the First State of the World's Animal Health Report by WHO, infectious animal diseases are reaching new regions and species, with almost half, 47%, having the potential to transmit to humans. About State of the World's Animal Health Report released by World Organization for Animal Health, WOH. WOH is an intergovernmental organization focused on improving animal health worldwide. It is headquartered in Paris, France. Key findings of the report. Changing disease patterns. Infectious animal diseases are spreading into previously unaffected regions, with nearly 47% having the ability to transmit from animals to humans, zoonotic potential. For example, peste de petits ruminants, which affects sheep and goats, once limited to developing countries, has now resurfaced in Europe. Increasing disease severity. Diseases such as African swine fever, avian influenza, and foot and mouth disease are becoming more frequent and severe, disrupting agricultural food systems and posing threats to food security, public health, and biodiversity. Factors driving disease spread, climate change, and the growth of global trade are recognized as key factors fueling the spread of these diseases. Antimicrobial resistance, AMR. By 2050, AMR is expected to cause significant livestock losses, threatening the food security of 2 billion people and resulting in an economic loss estimated at $100 trillion. Sodium-ion batteries. News. In a recent breakthrough, scientists successfully designed azodiamine battery that offers both rapid charging and extended lifespan. About sodium-ion batteries. Sodium-ion batteries, SIBs, are rechargeable batteries that function similarly to lithium-ion batteries but use sodium ions, Na+, instead of lithium ions, Li+, to carry the charge. Working mechanism of SIBs. During discharge, sodium ions travel from the anode, negative electrode, to the cathode, positive electrode, where they are hosted and reduced. These ions pass through an electrolyte, which acts as an electrical conductor and facilitates current flow by generating a potential difference. During charging, the sodium ions move back to the anode, completing the cycle. Sodium-ion versus lithium-ion batteries. Parameter sodium-ion battery, NAB, lithium-ion battery, LIB. Raw material and cost uses abundant materials like sodium, iron, manganese, lower cost, domestically available. Relies on scarce, imported materials like lithium, cobalt, nickel, higher cost energy density lower, approximate 100 to 160 Wh/kg, bulkier for same capacity. Higher, approximate 150, 250 Wh/kg. Compact and efficient applications suitable for grid-scale storage and long-duration energy needs ideal for smartphones, laptops, and electric vehicles. Environmental and strategic impact eco-friendly. Reduces dependence on geopolitically sensitive resources, environmental concerns. High dependence on critical mineral imports. PSLV, C-61. ISRO's 101st satellite launch mission failed. News. The Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO, was unable to complete its 101st satellite launch mission, PSLV, C-61/EOS-09, because of a technical issue. About the PSLV C-61/EOS-09 mission. The PSLV C-61 mission was intended to launch the Earth observation satellite 09 EOS-09 into a sun-synchronous polar orbit, SSPO. It was launched from the first launch pad at the Satish Dhawan Space Center, Sriharikota. EOS-09, also known as RISAT-1B, is an advanced Earth observation satellite equipped with C-band synthetic aperture radar, SAR, which enables it to capture high-resolution images of the Earth's surface in all weather conditions, day and night. Objective: to provide continuous and reliable remote sensing data for various operational applications. It is part of India's plan to strengthen its 52 satellite surveillance and remote sensing constellation with dual-use capabilities for both military and civilian purposes. About PSLV. The Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle, PSLV, is India's third-generation launch vehicle developed by the Indian Space Research Organization, ISRO. It is a 4-stage rocket and was the first Indian launch vehicle to incorporate liquid fuel stages. The PSLV conducted its first successful launch in October 1994 and is popularly known as the workhorse of ISRO due to its consistent and reliable performance. It is capable of launching satellites into low Earth orbit, LEO, geosynchronous orbit, GSO, and geostationary orbit, GEO, and has been used to deploy satellites of the IRNSS constellation as well. Successful launches: Chandrayaan-1 mission, 2008, Mars Orbiter mission/Mangalyaan, 2013, 104 satellites at one go, 2017. Cloud seeding. News. The Delhi cabinet has sanctioned a 3.21 Indian rupees crore project to carry out 5 cloud seeding trials across the NCR as part of measures to combat air pollution. About cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is a weather modification technique used to boost rainfall from existing clouds by dispersing substances that serve as cloud condensation nuclei or ice nuclei. How it works. Seeding agents such as silver iodide, potassium iodide, dry ice, solid CO2, or liquid propane are released into the atmosphere. This is done using aircraft or rockets. Purpose: it is used to induce rainfall, reduce dust, suppress hailstorms, and improve air quality by settling airborne particulates. Meter Convention. News. On May 20th, 2025, the Department of Consumer Affairs celebrated World Metrology Day to mark 150 years since the Meter Convention was signed in Paris on May 20th, 1875. About Meter Convention. Origin. Signed on May 20th, 1875 and later amended in 1921. Objective. Provides the framework, convention, and its annex for the global standardization and advancement of the metric system. Institution. Established the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, the IPM, to maintain and develop a universal measurement system. Importance. Promotes international cooperation in metrology and ensures uniform measurements worldwide, supporting research, trade, and industry. Membership. Comprises 64 member states and 37 associate states. India is a member. Quantum communication, using satellite. News. As per the Indian Institute of Technology, IIT, Delhi, India could be technologically capable of quantum communication using satellites in the next half a decade. About quantum communication. Quantum communication is a field of technology that uses the principles of quantum mechanics, especially the behavior of quantum particles like photons, to transmit information in a way that is fundamentally secure and resistant to eavesdropping. Key features. Quantum key distribution. QKD. The encryption keys are shared using quantum states, such as the polarization of photons. Any attempt to intercept or measure these quantum states disturbs them, revealing the presence of an eavesdropper. Quantum entanglement. Information can be transmitted using entangled particles, where the state of one instantly influences the state of another, no matter the distance. Unbreakable security. Because of the laws of quantum physics, quantum communication can provide theoretically unbreakable encryption. Under National Quantum Mission, NQM, of India, a strong focus is to develop satellite-based long-distance quantum communication. Quantum communication using satellite. A quantum satellite is a communication satellite leveraging the principles of quantum physics to secure data transmissions. Significance. The emergence of quantum computers poses a threat to existing cryptographic systems. Quantum satellites aim to ensure secure communications by employing quantum cryptography, particularly quantum key distribution, QKD. DRUA, Digital Hub for Reference and Unique Virtual Address. News. The Department of Posts has released a policy framework for DRUA, a national-level digital address DPI. About DRUA, Digital Hub for Reference and Unique Virtual Address, developed by Department of Posts. It is a national-level digital address digital public infrastructure, DPI, aiming to establish a standardized, geocoded, and interoperable digital address system. It introduces the concept of Address as a Service, AaaS, for secure, efficient, and user-controlled management of address data. Enables real-time, consent-based sharing of verified addresses across citizens, government, and businesses. Ensures interoperability, standardization, public-private integration, and user privacy. Recognizes digital addresses as core infrastructure, similar to Aadhaar and UPI, to support governance, e-commerce, urban planning, and emergency services. Offers features like mobile-first access, multilingual support, and integration with Aadhaar for wider accessibility. It builds upon the earlier Digital Postal Index Number, DigiPin system, a geocoded digital addressing grid for MX4M, created with IIT Hyderabad and ISRO's NRSC. DigiPin assigns a unique 10-character code to each grid, improving logistics, emergency response, and service delivery. To the point term / initiatives in News, ZooWin portal. Context. The government has recently introduced a digital platform, ZooWin. About ZooWin portal. It is a digital platform designed to track and manage the real-time availability of fantrabies vaccines, ARV, and anti-snake venom, ASV, across the country, developed by National Center for Disease Control and CDC, with technical support from the United Nations Development Program, UNDP. Pilot project. It will be piloted in 5 states / UTs, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Puducherry, and Andhra Pradesh. Repairability Index, RI. Context. The Committee for the Framework on Repairability Index, RI, in the mobile and electronic sector has submitted its report to the Department of Consumer Affairs. About Repairability Index, RI. The Repairability Index, RI, is a scoring system that evaluates how easily a smartphone or tablet can be repaired, whether by the user or by independent repair services. This rating helps consumers make informed decisions when purchasing such devices. RI framework. As recommended, OEMs must self-declare the Repairability Index, RI, using standard scoring guidelines. RI should be displayed at sale points, on e-commerce sites, and as a QR code on product packaging. Smartphones and tablets are the first priority categories. RI is based on 6 key parameters, each with defined scores and weightages, resulting in a final 5-point scale rating. Right to repair in India. Right to repair supports the circular economy, SDG 12, responsible consumption and production, and life movement, lifestyle for the environment. In 2022, India launched the Right to Repair portal to promote access to repair information across 4 sectors: automobiles, electronics, consumer durables, and farm equipment. RT Lamp SA. Context: researchers have evaluated their real-time loop-mediated isothermal amplification (RT-LAMP) method for the early and accurate detection of tuberculosis (TB). About RT-LAMP assay. RT-LAMP, real-time loop-mediated isothermal amplification, is a molecular diagnostic test that enables the rapid detection of TB DNA. The test functions at a single temperature, unlike traditional RT-PCR, which requires 3 different temperature cycles. The RT-LAMP assay has been approved by the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization (CDSCO) and is currently awaiting validation from the Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR). Weight loss drug Wegovy. Context: Danish drug maker Novo Nordisk has launched its weight loss drug Wegovy as a once-a-week injection in India. About Wegovy, it is a prescription weight loss drug developed by Danish pharmaceutical company Novo Nordisk. It contains semaglutide, a GLP-1 receptor agonist originally developed for type 2 diabetes, but found to be highly effective for weight loss. It is administered as a once-weekly injection using a convenient pen device, FlexiPen or FlexTouch. The drug is approved by Central Drugs Standard Control Organization, CDSCO, in India strictly for obesity management and not for diabetes. Other weight loss drugs Ozempic is used more for diabetes management. The main difference between the two is the dose. Rybelsus is an oral pill for the same. Mounjaro is made up of tirzepatide, which mimics the function of natural hormones GIP and GLP-1. It has a double effect of increasing insulin secretion in response to food intake and improving glucose control and weight loss. Trachoma. Context: India has been awarded the Certificate of Elimination of Trachoma as a public health problem by the World Health Organization, WHO. About trachoma. It is the leading infectious cause of blindness globally. It is caused by Chlamydia trachomatis, an obligate intracellular bacterium. It occurs via direct or indirect contact with eye or nose discharges from infected individuals, particularly young children who are the main reservoir. Certain fly species can also spread the infection. Indian initiative, the Trachoma Control Program was incorporated into the National Program for Control of Blindness and Visual Impairment, NPCBVI, in 1976. Vitamin D. Context: a recent report has sounded the alarm over vitamin D deficiency in India. About vitamin D, also referred to as calciferol, is a fat-soluble vitamin. Source: it is naturally present in a few foods like fatty fish, salmon, tuna, fortified milk, and eggs, and available as a dietary supplement. It is also produced endogenously when ultraviolet (UV) rays from sunlight strike the skin and trigger vitamin D synthesis deficiency. Vitamin D deficiency can cause weakened bones, rickets in children, osteoporosis in adults. Germanium, G. Context: India has formally raised concerns with China regarding export restrictions on germanium, a critical mineral essential for manufacturing semiconductors, fiber optic cables, and solar panels. About germanium, it is a chemical element classified as a metalloid and appears as a silvery gray, brittle solid. It has a melting point of approximately 1,100 degrees Celsius, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit, and a diamond-like crystal structure. Major producers. China is the leading global producer of germanium, accounting for approximately 60% of total output. The rest of the production is primarily contributed by countries such as Canada, Finland, Russia, and the United States. India is 100% dependent on germanium import. HIV prevention drug, lenacapavir. Context: U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, approves new HIV prevention drug lenacapavir. About lenacapavir. Lenacapavir is an antiretroviral drug used as pre-exposure prophylaxis, PrEP, to prevent HIV infection. PrEP lowers the risk of HIV for HIV-negative people at risk of exposure. WHO recommends oral PrEP, the dapivirine vaginal ring, and long-acting injectable cabotegravir, CABLA, for HIV prevention. About HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, attacks the immune system by destroying CD4 cells, a type of white blood cell. It spreads through infected body fluids like blood, breast milk, semen, vaginal fluids, and from mother to baby. HIV is preventable and treatable with antiretroviral therapy, ART. Without treatment, HIV can lead to AIDS, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. As per the 2023 report, over 2.5 million people in India live with HIV. Mission in News Biomass Mission. Context: the European Space Agency, ESA, is going to launch its biomass mission at the end of April 2025. About biomass mission, it will be launched by the European Space Agency, ESA, aboard the Vega C rocket from Europe's spaceport in French Guiana. It is a dedicated Earth observation satellite mission under ESA's Earth Explorer program, designed to map and monitor global forest biomass with unprecedented accuracy. Orbit: it will be placed in a sun-synchronous orbit, SSO, at an altitude of around 666 kilometers. Instruments: it will be the first satellite to carry a P-band synthetic aperture radar, SAR, instrument, allowing interferometric and tomographic imaging to determine the amount of biomass and carbon stored in forests. FRAM-2 mission. Context: the mission named FRAM-2 has been launched aboard SpaceX's Dragon spacecraft. About FRAM-2 mission, it will conduct several scientific experiments, including the first ever X-ray in space and mushroom cultivation in microgravity. Notably, it will also become the first human spaceflight to fly directly over Earth's polar regions. Understanding Earth's polar orbit. A polar orbit allows a satellite to pass over both the North and South poles during each revolution. Even orbits deviating up to 10 degrees from the poles are still considered polar orbits. These orbits fall under low Earth orbit, LEO, usually ranging from 200 to 1,000 kilometers in altitude. Because the Earth rotates beneath the satellite, this orbit enables global coverage, making it ideal for weather monitoring, mapping, and reconnaissance. Axiom 4 mission. Context: the Axiom 4 mission was recently launched with Indian astronaut group Captain Shubhanshu Shukla on board. About Axiom 4 mission: it is a private space mission by Axiom Space. It will send a crew to the International Space Station, ISS, for 14 days. The mission will launch from Kennedy Space Center, Florida, on SpaceX's Falcon 9 rocket. The crew will travel aboard SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft. The mission is organized in partnership with NASA. Significance for India. AX 4 marks India's collaboration through an agreement between ISRO and NASA. It allows ISRO to test some early space experiments ahead of India's Gaganyaan mission. Key Indian experiments on AX 4. Study of microgravity's effect on muscle weakness. Impact of using computer screens in zero gravity on human vision and cognition. Growth of 6 crop seed varieties in space conditions. Tardigrade survival study to understand how these resilient organisms endure extreme space environments. Tianwen 2 mission. Context: China has launched a space mission Tianwen 2 to explore a small asteroid named Kamoa. About Tianwen 2 mission launch vehicle. The mission will be launched using the Long March 3B rocket. Objective: the mission aims to survey and collect samples from the asteroid Kamoa and then proceed to the asteroid belt to study Comet 311P/Pan-STARRS. Significance for China. If successful, China will join the US and Japan as the third country to bring back asteroid samples to Earth.